Imagine, for a moment, a single transfer move so seismic that it doesn't just alter the fate of one club, but sends tremors across the entire Premier League, disrupts strategies throughout Europe, and puts the ambitions of two historic football institutions under the microscope. Right now, Liverpool Football Club stands on the brink of such a high-stakes play, a transfer market domino effect that could define not only their own destiny this season, but also reshape the futures of multiple stars, coaching careers, and even the financial trajectories of clubs on both sides of the English Channel. What exactly is at stake as Liverpool closes in on Marc Guehi, and could this record-breaking pursuit become a masterstroke or backfire spectacularly? To grasp the sheer magnitude of this saga, let's rewind through the decades. Liverpool has always been more than just a football club. It's an institution forged in innovation, a proving ground for new managerial philosophies and analytics-driven strategies. Their transfer decisions, from the era of Bill Shankly to the modern reign of Jurgen Klopp, have not just determined title races, they've set new standards for what it means to build a winning squad. Think of the acquisition of Virgil van Dijk, which redefined defensive spending worldwide, or the bold investments in Mohamed Salah and Sadio Mane that transformed the club's fortunes. Now, with the summer window wide open and a new era under Arne Slot dawning, Liverpool's ambitions are reaching unprecedented heights. This summer, the stakes are arguably higher than ever before. Already, Liverpool has committed to spending a jaw-dropping sum, with credible estimates suggesting that, should the Guehi deal be finalized, the club's total outlay will approach a staggering £250 million, a sum that would sit among the most expensive windows in Premier League history. The arrival of Georgi Mamardashvili, the recruitment of Freddie Woodman as a reliable goalkeeping deputy, and the club's audacious swoop for Florian Wirtz, which alone shattered Liverpool's transfer record, are just the opening chapters of what many are calling a revolution at Anfield. Notably, Wirtz's deal, reportedly worth around €125 million, not only highlights Liverpool's financial clout, but also signals a shift toward acquiring elite, game-changing talents at their peak. With new manager Arne Slot taking the reins, the Merseyside Giants are not simply rebuilding, they are reimagining every facet of their squad. Slot, renowned for his tactical adaptability and bold man-management style in the Eredivisie, is under immediate pressure to deliver. He inherits a team that, for years, has been defined by its relentless pressing and collective spirit. Yet, as with every new era, there is a need for fresh faces and new ideas. This has led Liverpool's transfer committee to target not just established stars, but also promising young talents who can anchor the club for the next generation. Meanwhile, in South London, Crystal Palace faces its own moment of truth. Palace, a club that has fought hard to establish itself as a consistent Premier League presence since returning to the top flight over a decade ago, is at a crossroads. Their star defender Marc Guehi, just 24 years old and widely regarded as one of the most intelligent and composed center-backs in English football, is entering the final year of his contract. Reports from leading journalists, including Abola and Fabrizio Romano, reveal that Guehi has informed the club he will not sign an extension. For Palace, the clock is ticking. To lose such a valuable asset for free would be a financial disaster, so the club's hierarchy, determined not to repeat past mistakes, has acted decisively. In a bold move, Crystal Palace agreed a club record deal to bring in Sporting CP's Ousmane Diomande for an eye-watering €55 million. This transfer, negotiated after weeks of tense discussions, represents the most expensive signing in Palace's history by a considerable margin. To put it in perspective, Diomande's fee shatters the previous record and signals the club's ambition to remain competitive at the highest level. The Ivorian defender, still in his early 20s, is seen as the perfect replacement for Guehi, a player with the athleticism, technical skills, and temperament to thrive in the Premier League. Diomande himself is reportedly thrilled by the prospect of English football and has agreed to a 5-year contract accompanied by a substantial pay rise. His release clause in Portugal stood at €80 million, making Palace's negotiation for €55 million a shrewd, if still expensive, piece of business. But why is Liverpool so fixated on Marc Guehi? The answer lies in a unique confluence of opportunity and necessity. Liverpool's defensive line, once the bedrock of their title-winning side, is showing signs of age and wear. Virgil van Dijk, the Dutch colossus who transformed Liverpool's fortunes upon arrival, is now in his 30s and has faced injury setbacks. Joel Matip has departed, while Joe Gomez and Ibrahima Konate have both struggled at times for consistency and fitness. Compounding matters, the club recently sold promising youngster Jarell Quansah to Bayer Leverkusen in a deal worth over £35 million, with a crucial buyback clause worth over €60 million, an insurance policy that underscores Liverpool's careful long-term planning. Slot and the Liverpool hierarchy are acutely aware that to challenge Manchester City, Arsenal, and the continent's elite, they must not only refresh their defense but do so with the right blend of youth, experience, and tactical intelligence. Marc Guehi fits this profile perfectly. At just 24, he already boasts over 100 Premier League appearances, has been capped by England, and is lauded by coaches and analysts for his positional awareness, leadership, and ability to play out from the back. According to Fabrizio Romano, Guehi wants guarantees on playing time. Liverpool is presenting their vision, but the player wants to be sure he's a key part of Slot's plans. This is where the real conflict emerges. For Liverpool, spending close to £250 million in a single window comes with enormous pressure on the club, the manager, and every new signing. The margin for error shrinks with every million spent. The last time Liverpool made such a massive investment, expectations skyrocketed, and anything less than silverware was deemed a failure. For Crystal Palace, this summer could define whether they cement their place as a Premier League mainstay or risk sliding back into mediocrity. The arrival of Diamond is a statement of intent, but if the new recruit struggles to adapt to the pace and physicality of English football, the financial consequences could be severe. Let's not forget the human side of these mega deals. For Marc Guehi, the decision to leave Palace is fraught with risk and reward. On one hand, a move to Liverpool offers the allure of Champions League football, the chance to play in front of the Kop, and the opportunity to develop under a new manager with bold ideas. On the other hand, Guehi is acutely aware that promises made during transfer negotiations can quickly fade if results go against the team or if other defenders outperform him. Will assurances over playing time and a starring role in Slot's plans be enough to sway him, or could late-stage negotiations collapse, leaving all parties scrambling for alternatives? As we approach the final hours of this transfer saga, the next 48 hours could prove decisive. If Liverpool secures Guehi's signature, the entire defensive dynamic at Anfield could shift overnight. With Guehi demanding clear guarantees about his role, Arne Slot will have to carefully manage the expectations of established stars like Ibrahima Konate and Joe Gomez. Squad harmony is notoriously delicate at the highest levels of football, and one high-profile arrival can unsettle even the most cohesive dressing room. Yet the potential rewards are immense. With Guehi anchoring the backline, Liverpool could boast a defense defined by youth, athleticism, and tactical flexibility, essential qualities for any club hoping to dethrone Manchester City and make a deep run in Europe. But with great spending comes great expectation. The Premier League is littered with examples of clubs that splashed out vast fortunes, only to falter under the weight of expectation. Take Chelsea's transfer spree in recent years, which saw them spend over £300 million in a single window, only to finish outside the Champions League places. Or consider Manchester United's post-Ferguson years, marked by lavish spending and frequent managerial changes, yet without the consistent success their fans crave. Liverpool's supporters, while passionate and loyal, will demand instant results. Anything less than a genuine title challenge and meaningful progress in Europe will be seen as a disappointment. For Crystal Palace, the stakes are equally high. The acquisition of Ousmane Diamand is a bold bet on youth and potential. The Ivorian defender, known for his powerful physique and composure on the ball, has all the tools to become a Premier League star. His arrival comes with a 5-year contract and a significant pay increase, reflecting the club's faith in his ability. However, making such a massive outlay on a relatively unproven player brings its own risks. If Diamand adapts quickly and lives up to expectations, Palace could not only stabilize their backline but also enhance their reputation as a destination for emerging talent. This, in turn, could help the club attract future stars, strengthen their position in the league, and even compete for European places. Yet the opposite scenario remains a real possibility. If Diamand struggles to adjust to the intensity and tactical demands of English football, or if the team fails to achieve its targets, Palace could be left with an expensive asset who becomes difficult to move on. The financial hit, combined with the disappointment of missing out on European football, could force a rethink in the club's transfer and wage policies. Moreover, with UEFA's increasing scrutiny over multi-club ownership and financial fair play, Every decision Palace makes this summer will be closely watched, not just by fans, but by regulators and potential investors as well. Let's consider a scenario where the Guehi move collapses at the 11th hour. Liverpool, under intense pressure to reinforce their defense, would be forced to pivot quickly. The names of Murillo from Nottingham Forest and Jorel Hato from Ajax have already been linked as potential alternatives. Yet, in football's interconnected marketplace, such a move would not happen in isolation. If Liverpool suddenly enters the market for another highly rated young centre-back, prices could soar as selling clubs sense desperation. This could trigger a series of moves across Europe, with clubs vying for a shrinking pool of elite defensive talent. For Palace, the situation becomes equally complex. They could be left with an unsettled Guehi, whose desire to leave is now public, and a record signing in Diamond vying for the same position. Managing squad harmony, wage structure, and expectations becomes a delicate juggling act. But what lessons can fans and viewers draw from this high-stakes drama? First and foremost, today's elite football transfers are about far more than raw talent. They are exercises in timing, negotiation, risk management, and forward-thinking strategy. Clubs must balance on-field needs with financial fair play rules, future resale values, and a maze of regulations from governing bodies like UEFA. The Guehi Diomande saga offers a perfect case study in how a single transfer can send ripples through an entire league, forcing clubs to rethink strategies and revise budgets overnight. For those watching at home, whether you're running a business, managing a career, or simply following your favorite team, the lessons are universal. The best moves are often made by those who act proactively, remain flexible, and are prepared to adapt when plans change. As renowned transfer insider Fabrizio Romano famously put it, in football you need to act before the market moves, not after. This philosophy applies not just to football but to every walk of life. Delving deeper, let's examine a few historical parallels. Remember when Liverpool missed out on Virgil van Dijk in the summer of 2017, only to regroup and sign him in January for a then world record fee for a defender? The move was initially met with skepticism, but it transformed the team and laid the foundation for Champions League and Premier League glory. Conversely, think of Tottenham Hotspur's decision to delay squad reinvestment after selling Gareth Bale for a world record fee in 2013. The club made several signings, but without a clear plan, many failed to deliver, and Spurs missed a golden opportunity to challenge for top honors. Expert commentary further highlights the complexity of these blockbuster deals. Paul Gorst of the Liverpool Echo suggests that Liverpool is in a relatively relaxed position when it comes to signing a centre-back, thanks to their depth and recent investments. However, Graham Bailey points out that Liverpool's keen interest in alternatives like Christian Mosquera of Valencia shows the club is leaving nothing to chance. Such diligence is vital in an era where transfer missteps can have repercussions for years. Let's also address the broader financial context. According to Mirror Football, Liverpool's spending this summer could approach £250 million if the Guehi deal is finalized. This would put them among Europe's top spenders, rivaling the likes of Manchester City and Paris Saint-Germain. In a world where financial fair play regulations are tightening and UEFA is monitoring club finances ever more closely, every transfer must be justified not just by sporting merit, but also by financial logic. Liverpool's willingness to spend big is a sign of their ambition, but also a gamble on the continued growth and commercial success of the Premier League itself. For Crystal Palace, the ability to navigate UEFA's multi-club ownership rules will be crucial in determining their eligibility for European competitions. As more clubs enter into partnerships and shared ownership arrangements, the regulatory environment becomes ever more complex. Palace's success, or lack thereof, in integrating Diamond and managing the transition from Guehi could set a precedent for other mid-table clubs aspiring to punch above their weight. Looking ahead, the fate of this transfer will likely shape the narrative for both clubs for seasons to come. If Arne Slot lands his man and integrates Guehi swiftly into the side, Liverpool could be on course for their most dynamic defensive season in years. The combination of youthful vigor, tactical flexibility, and depth could make them genuine contenders on all fronts. But if the deal collapses, or if Guehi fails to adapt to the demands of Anfield, the sting of disappointment and the financial repercussions could linger for several campaigns. For Crystal Palace, Diamand's success or struggle will be the single most important factor in how this era is remembered. If he becomes a defensive rock, Palace's boldness will be vindicated. If not, questions will be asked about the club's recruitment strategy and risk tolerance. The pressure is on for everyone involved, players, managers, and executives alike. And here's a lesser-known but fascinating detail. Liverpool's sale of Jarell Quansah to Bayer Leverkusen included a record buyback clause worth more than €60 million, valid from the year 2027. This move, unusual in its scale and timing, is a testament to Liverpool's long-term strategic thinking. It allows the club to hedge its bets, retaining the option to reclaim a homegrown talent if he fulfills his potential in the Bundesliga, even as they spend big on new acquisitions today. In many ways, this is the modern transfer market in a nutshell, a constant balancing act between immediate needs and future possibilities, between chasing glory and managing risk. So, what's the final takeaway? The Guehi Diomande saga is about more than just two clubs swapping defenders. It's a window into the high-stakes chess match that defines modern football, a game played out not just on the pitch, but in boardrooms, spreadsheets, and WhatsApp chats between agents and executives. It's about ambition, risk, timing, and the ever-present tension between tradition and innovation. If you found these behind-the-scenes insights helpful, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Do you believe Marc Guehi can transform Liverpool's defense, or are we witnessing the beginning of another wild, unpredictable transfer saga? What would you do if you were in the shoes of Arne Slot or Crystal Palace's leadership? Stay tuned for more deep dives into the economics, drama, and decision-making that shape the beautiful game. Until next time, remember, in football and in life,